Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. I'm pregnant and my husband has been sleeping with my mother. NSFW. Hello. A few friends and relatives follow my main Reddit account, so I've made a new one to avoid creating more drama. I, 26F, have found out my husband, 30M, is having sex with my mother, 52F. I honestly don't know how to react. I'm ducking 4 months pregnant and I'm trying not to stress since it's bad for the baby. I honestly had suspicions about my husband cheating. When I announced my pregnancy, he seemed happy. Over the moon actually. He was kissing me and telling me how lucky he was to have me, but now he changed. About 2 weeks after my surprise announcement, he stopped hugging me and kissing me like usual. He stopped eating the meals I'd make for him after work and said he already ate some fast food or something. I also noticed he had changed his lock screen, which was a picture of us. Not sure if that meant anything, to be honest. I found out 3 days ago. I went through his phone while he was in the shower and found texts, messages, videos, pictures. I'm sick to my stomach thinking about what I saw. I saw pictures of my mom in lingerie and he was replying with pictures of his penis, saying he was so hard for her. I even saw a message of regret. He had said that maybe they should stop since he didn't want to hurt me, but my mom said I wouldn't get hurt as long as they kept it all a secret. But what angered me the most was the message she sent a few days ago. I'll quote it here so anyone reading this can get an idea of how serious their affair is and has been. I love you so much. More than you think. You've helped me through the passing of my beloved ex-husband, and for that I truly thank you. I know it is hard for you to keep a secret like this, for me it is too. I love my daughter with all my heart, but she will have to accept eventually that love is love and that the heart wants what it wants. Our hearts want each other. I thought that ever since my husband died, nobody would ever love me because I'm just an old woman, but you have shown me to love myself and made me feel young and sexy again. Let's keep having fun and cherishing each other. I think it's important to know my father passed away about 5 years ago from a stroke, and my mother said she refused to get back into dating or romance because my father is her forever love and only and only. It's absolute bullshit. I'm ducking crushed, and it's the fact that I know they had sex after that message because that was the night he didn't come home until 1 in the morning due to work and paid overtime. I actually threw up after reading that message. I have screenshots of the messages and have sent the videos to myself. Of course I deleted them on his phone so it looked like he never sent me anything. I'm numb. I'm confused. I'm hurt so bad. I can't even cry because I refuse to believe it. My husband is at work. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed writing this. Any advice? Please. I'm desperate for just a little bit of anything, really. This baby in me is honestly the only thing preventing me from confrontation. I'm afraid that confronting them now will cause too much stress and anger, and I want the best for my child. At this point all I want to do is have my baby. Christmas is soon and I don't want to ruin it for the family. I had also planned on announcing my pregnancy that day. Please help me. 1. Hello. Thank you all so much for the support. Really, you don't understand how much it means to me to see so many strangers online wishing me well. I did not expect my post to gain this much attention. Around 2 hours ago, I confronted my husband when he came home from work. I told him that I know everything. I showed him the pictures and messages. At first he denied, but when I showed him the evidence he started crying. Actually crying. He had the nerve to cry and get on his knees while holding and caressing my stomach. He told me that I would be a bad mother if I left him and raised my child without a father, because a baby needs a dad in their life to fully grow mentally and physically. I honestly don't know what to say except that it's pure bullshit. I told him that I was contacting a lawyer in order to file for divorce. I had already packed my things before he came home. I'm currently staying at a local motel about 30 minutes away from my home. I've asked my cousin if I can stay with her for a few days and she has agreed. I'm getting everything sorted from there. My husband has been blowing up my phone with messages and apologies. He's told me that if I take him back, he won't do anything to hurt me ever again and he will cut all ties with my mother. As for her, I've also confronted her. I messaged her once I got to my motel. I told her I was pregnant and that she will never get to see her grandchild. She has not responded yet. I have also moved all my finances that I had in my husband and I's shared bank account to my personal savings account. You don't understand how grateful and appreciative I am for the support. I apologize that I could not reply to all the personal messages I've been receiving as well. It's been hell. I'll try my best to update if my mother does end up replying to me. Again, thank you all so much. 2. I am safe. I've been receiving a lot of messages from those who are concerned for my well-being. I am safe and I'm finally at my cousin's house. Thank you all once again for the supportive messages and replies. I also would like to thank you all for the awards. They mean so much to me. My mental health is getting better every single day, all thanks to you amazing people for offering me advice and kind words. I have chosen to cut all ties off with my mother. She messaged me just a few hours ago and I honestly do not have the heart to reply. It's also made me rethink my situation. I'm so sorry for the pain and hurt I have caused you. It was never meant to go this far. I love you so much, with every inch of my heart, but you are not the victim. How dare you hold this against me and take away my right to see my one and only grandbaby? You are cruel. If you do this, you will forever live life regretting. Please do not do this to me. I am your mother, I love you. I have ended it with my husband's name. We are no longer on speaking terms. Please push past this. A child cannot be raised without a father or grandmother. I love you, my name which will not be shared, please call me. I cut out some more personal things from the text. I have a lawyer and am in the process of looking for an apartment. I have no intention of allowing either my former husband or mother into my child's life, but I'm also afraid that my child will grow up deprived of many child-father bonding experiences. This may be my last update as I want to move on and away from all of this. As for my husband, his messages have gone quiet, which I am thankful for. My cousin has been helping through this and is currently the only family member other than my mom and husband who know about the affair. I'm very appreciative of all the support. I hope you all have an amazing holiday. They are both disgusting and do not love you as they claim. Expose both of them and see how strong their love for each other is. Do not keep their secrets. But before confronting, first talk to a lawyer. This is a massive betrayal and I am sorry you are going through this. You've seen what he's made of. No deals. That's not the influence you want on your child. So glad you did something and took action for yourself. Get a divorce agreement drawn up ASAP. You can even do it yourself. I did mine and have helped friends with theirs. If you don't have property that you care about, or to otherwise divide up, present him a divorce agreement that states irreconcilable differences cause this isn't reconcilable. He's disgusting. He thinks he's worthy to raise a child and give the baby anything fatherly? What a disgusting joke. I'd probably go off. I'd release the Kraken. I'd ask him a million ways that he's brought anything to the family that is worth seeing as a reputable influence to any child. Belittle at first so he breaks down and goes away and doesn't bother you. Yes, there are tons of men who will simply go away. Make sure you have all your ducks in a row. But seriously, your mom sounds like a terrible human being. Your husband sounds sorta like he was getting manipulated by her. Not saying he doesn't suck, but that mom seems manipulative as hell. Lamau, please, her husband is a grown man and can think for himself. Agree? That's totally manipulative. He cries and pleads shamelessly because he was caught. Dump his sorry ass. There's no way to manipulate someone's penis into you if they are unwilling unless you're talking about a minor and this is a grown-ass man. If she moves away before announcing about the baby, basically divorce him and disappears, can she have the baby and never say anything? No courts involved in taking this baby even 30% of the time? Especially if he's with her mom. So her mom could become stepmom? Could it? Can you flippin' imagine that hell and craziness? Oh hell to the no. I'd leave. Tell him now that she's lost the baby now. Like tomorrow. Then get all your paperwork together and a new bank account and find a place to move very far away. Somewhere that people wouldn't expect you to go. Get a new job there. Simple. You say you got a new job and you have to go now. When he's like, WTH? Tell him you'll send him something later. File for and then get a divorce and leave. Send both him and mom and everyone, put that crap on social media everywhere. They'll be so busy cleaning up that they won't be bothered much about you. And probably so pissed. Move somewhere new and have this baby. Never post anything on social media about this child and go start over. Just tell him he's so disgusting in what he's doing and you want nothing to do with him. Never let them know about his baby. It can be done if she just cuts ties with all of them. I'd not have my mother or a man like them in any way having contact or authority over my child, which is essentially over-op. I'd not be coordinating and co-parenting or any of that. Not fighting in the court to protect my kid from whatever new nonsense they're up to. So yay, I can imagine coming up with a plan and just bouncing. I've seen women be tortured by men or men and they cheat together, disciplining the children, saying things or brainwashing them as toddlers and as they grow up. No. I do it the old way and leave and cut them all out. Child doesn't need any of that. Story 2. Military wife cheating. Needs support NSFW. Ha, looks like a porn title. It may seem that I am not completely serious with all the jokes, but that's my good old trusted coping mechanism. Background: married to a best friend of mine. She had lots of partners during our friendship, some over 30, with lots of drama, cheating etc. Me being me, got into lots of drama as well, so we shared our troubles regularly, like makeshift therapy sessions. Later we got together, but a vibe of trusted friends still being with us. I could describe our relationship as nearly perfect, with a good share of troubles, yet with a good share of communication and dealing with problems together. It came to be a motto: any problem can be solved with your mouth, no reference to oral sex whatsoever. All that looked like a good healthy relationship, with a base of that kind of trust you can see in best friends. Then, the war started, and I could not help but volunteer at the front line, and then enlisted in the actual army. It was my choice, not a legal obligation, yet I could not stay home, for my moral obligations. That hit our relationship hard, with her staying at home, coping with all that war-related shit, feeling troubled about me being in the deepest of shits, and feeling alone and abandoned. On the other side of the equation was me, PTSD-ed as duck and depressed, unable to support her in any reasonable way, and going more and more down with every talk with her. I can't really pinpoint why, but as the shit got too deep to handle, I gathered the last of my will and tried to steer our communication towards some better, and I did better. We tried to reconcile and come to terms with my leave for the army. We talked a lot lately, and increasingly more on sexual stuff. Talked about trying threesomes or swinging, among other kinky stuff. Some day later she called me late at night, literally crying, that she made up with our common friend, F, married, we'll call her V, who stayed overnight at our place for some reason. To put some more perspective, V, her husband, call him X, my wife and me, before wartime, worked at the same place. Lately my wife works shifts with X as her partner, and as I visited them at work, I could not help but notice some strange vibe between them. She got touchy with X, which I pointed out, got an explanation in lines of that's the usual vibe, like a very friendly one. Still, I asked her to stop, as I was feeling uneasy. I had a few days of vacation, and we had some more serious talks about swinging and stuff, so she proposed to get with 5 and 10. Inexplicably, we did the very next day, and X was very tense about it afterwards, yet we let it slide. We had lots of talk with my wife about that, and got to the topic of cheating, for the first time in our whole relationship. We reassured each other that trust is above everything, and if some cheaty stuff ever happened, we could talk to each other no matter what. Spoiler alert, she was already cheating at this point. After that swing experience and deep relationship talks, I felt pretty buffed about it. I felt better than ever, and that changed the way we communicated after my vacation was over. Way more positive and supporting, on both sides. Few weeks later, I managed to get another vacation, being right now, as I write this post. Things changed a bit. 10 and 5 got into some trouble with the landlord, and the wife let them stay in our house for a while. Also, they are neck deep into shit relationship-wise, to the point of self-harming, nearly suicidal V and alcohol-abusing X. The day I arrive, which is today, all three of them are at work for a 24 hours shift, X and my wife working on the same team. So, as I am home alone, feeling lil horny, I got to watch some porn. I grab her laptop, with no other big screen available, open it up, get into jacking off to trannies, and boom, right in my face, Viber push notification. X writing literally "I love you" to my wife. And shit me not, I reach for their messaging, of which I am deeply sorry. I should not have done such an abominable thing. Here goes all the stuff, sexting, describing their intercourses in great detail, etc. Yet more hurtful was "I love you," literally scattered all over, from both of them. You know, literally 2 weeks after deep relationship talks and profound trust build up. Okay bro, inhale exhale, first thought, it's a late night, got to wait for her to come back from shift, with 5 and 10, BTW, as they are staying at our place, and confront her. Next thought, I will ducking undo myself if I won't talk to her immediately. So I did, called her in the middle of a night shift, and I honestly cannot remember what I told her, or what she told me. Few hours later, I practiced some good old self-harm, which I did last time some 6 to 7 years ago, which I found a pretty effective way to reduce anxiety and find peace of mind. Wife managed to get home in the middle of the night shift, for 2 hours, and we talked hell out of situation. For duck's sake, she was regretful as duck, literally crying, swearing she wanted to tell me herself, but couldn't find the courage to tell me by phone. Told me she was doing that for the past month, out of loneliness and being angry for me enlisting to army. Also told me, that latest buff in our long-distance relationship encouraged her to tell me the truth, and she was just waiting for me to come home for vacation. I couldn't even feel anger, disgust or anything else. I just tried my best not to hurt her with my words, as she seemed hurt enough by herself. I couldn't find any urge to break up either. I just tried to comfort her, and then decide what to do. We talked a lot. She told me it will not happen again. We both said that from now on there has to be only truth between us. I asked her to tell me the story in detail, and she did. She told me about X comforting her when she cried out of loneliness, told me that she felt some deep attraction to X, and in the very next sentence that it was only a physical. We talked about saving our relationship and regaining trust and all around that. She literally asked me to call her names, to say something offensive or even hit her. I couldn't do anything but to comfort her. Then X came to grab her for the rest of the shift, and I confronted him as well. As I am literally a right-wing shithead serving in the army, X seemed to await physical treatment, as he described a knife to the chest the moment I stepped through the door. I literally could do that mentally, yet I felt no aggression. We talked a bit, as he was not on the talkative side, yet expressed his regrets, saying he screwed up big time. Wife told him outright that their affair must stop, yet insisted on staying friends and work partners, which I asked her not to. So just now they both left for the rest of the night and I am all by myself with all this shit. I don't know what to do, for real. I want to try to put everything back in trust and love lines, and I love my wife, yet I am not sure how I will treat her later on. I am scared of bringing up this topic now and then, turning our relationship into a nightmare. I am scared of not being able to trust her again. I am hella scared that my love for her will change into anger or disgust. I don't want to hurt her, and I am not sure I will be able to manage this properly, if our relationship will survive. I overheard a similar drama happening to my roommate, and that's unbearable, to love, yet to be disgusted by her. Also, what the duck should I do about the 10 and 5 situation? I think about that nearly as much as about my own situation, and I feel I should tell V that her husband cheated on her. Yet considering her self-harming nearly suicidal state, I am outright afraid to tell her. Wife and ex also asked me not to tell her a thing, but I am not sure whether I'll be able to play that role in the morning, when the 4 of us will be cramped in our house. I feel like all 4 of us are in deep shit and I feel I can't help it at all. Tomorrow I must leave for army camp, so I do not have enough time to sort this out. Whatever advice you have I am willing to take. As I thought of my closest friends, I couldn't think of any person who would advocate for saving this relationship, so I am in a dire need for such reassurance. Man, you are neck deep in shit and no matter your next move you will still be in shit. I think you need to go full risk mitigation mode as if you know no idea what will happen in the future. As you have combat experience, I believe you can pull off doing all the necessary things before you deal with everything in your life. No matter what happens, the marriage you had is dead and you are considering a new one. Get a separation agreement with your wife. This is best done with a lawyer. Even better, divorce. This will save you so much heartache and stress if things don't work out as you hoped. You might say you believe in your wife to make it work, but she already demonstrated that your expectations of her are not necessarily how she acts. Trust me, this sub is full of people who gave second chances and were betrayed again and again. Your feelings are not reality. I advise you to not spend too much time on this step due to what I will recommend as your next steps. Once you get a lawyer, they can handle the paperwork and other details. Find an inpatient psychiatric facility both you and V can go to. You both are at high risk with a history of self-harm. You are going through a trauma that people who don't have all your other issues find suffocating. Believe me, you are beyond the DIY stage. A lot of people decide to suicide suddenly and follow through within minutes. You might not have experienced the soul-crushing doubt spirals yet, but they will come. You need help to survive this. Don't be another statistic. As you might have guessed from the previous paragraph, you need to tell V. She has already been betrayed twice by your wife and her husband. Each betrayal makes it exponentially worse. Truth always comes out and you don't want to be the third knife in her back. Make arrangements for both of you to be admitted. Tell her to trust you and drive her there. Once there, tell her everything and ask her to accept treatment with you. I know this is rich coming from a stranger, but do not worry about medical costs right now. Your life is in danger as real as bullets. The mind movies and soul-crushing feelings will come and your history of self-harm can push you over the edge. I am not exaggerating. Get help fast. After you get to a better place, you can decide what you want to do wrong with your wife. If things work out as you hope, marrying again is very easy. If not, you will not be burdened with more drama and can make a clear cut. All your options will still be there waiting for you once you are over the worst period. Seems like the only right way to do it. It could be easier than it looks like, as I am not up to any agreements or lawyers in case of divorce, as we have no significant valuables to argue over. I might as well just pack up my stuff and leave, probably nothing to pack up, as my essential stuff is at camp anyways. Yet I can't separate with my wife completely, as we are still friends, like some serious time friends, so I will probably support her even in case of divorce. It's just agreed upon that in case the marriage goes south we just stay friends no matter what. I will probably need her as a friend as much as she needs me. And I am pretty much sure that I will cope with that shit and make a good joke of it, if we stay friends. Shit, I am full of illusions about second chances, yet I am aware that's only my perception of her. I just went with the assumption it won't get any worse if I gave her a second chance. Probably will get much worse, multiplied by my paranoia and lack of trust. And for psychiatric help, can't be any further from my reality. We don't have any borderline decent psychiatry here, so I can only account for military psychologists or some volunteer online therapy. Anyways, I won't be doing that, as I'm needed in my unit, not elsewhere. I guess I am in a wee bit deeper shit I initially assumed. I assumed V already knows something isn't right. I cannot believe she could live with the two of them for like a week and couldn't notice the dynamics between them. I noticed that outright, and I am not very good at understanding people. Okay, if professional help is not available, you need help from your support network. Let your close friends know so they can be there for you. Have a plan of action for when things get too tough, e.a. where to go, who to call, etc. As a general rule, you can always assume a cheater went 2-3x further than they admit, and you discover that staying friends no matter what sentiment might disappear with further betrayals and discoveries. You already discovered that she was already cheating when she proposed swinging. What if you discover that she was cheating even before you enlisted? It might feel far-fetched now, but you already know she is capable and willing to cheat on you. Don't count on her being as reasonable as you think she is in the future. Divorce can still be a nightmare with no assets or kids. You might be right about V, but it is also possible she is burying her head in the sand. A lot of people get blindsided by cheating because cheaters make it seem that all the problems are their fault. I wouldn't be surprised if V's self-harm issues were largely due to X gaslighting her. After you tell V, it might be best to kick out X. V would still need to see your wife's face, but I don't think you would be willing to kick her out for some time too. Man, this whole situation is shit. Get as much help as you can from your close ones. Things will be tough no matter what you do. He isn't into deep shit, he is into trannies. Your wife lied to you. She claimed it was just physical, but then was telling X she loves him. I can't tell you what to do, it's your life, your reality, your pain. I just want to point out to you that your wife is not being honest with you. When I confronted both of them, X said that it was purely physical, to which my wife jokingly responded, that's a bit unpleasant to hear. Sometimes it's drama, sometimes it's batshit circus. I had a laugh, though. I assume that she wanted emotional intimacy over physical, as, according to both of them, she cried every single time they met. Why this had to become sexual. More of it, she insisted that X stayed on the same team as her, and still maintained friendship with her. She used phrases like "I'm afraid to lose X" both in messaging, and while confronted. Like WTF, you ain't getting both me and X. Also, she denied calling this affair a relationship, despite using that term in messaging. Some discrepancies here and there become more and more disturbing, and I am noticing more and more details throughout the house that could hint me to cheating. Like sex toys you couldn't use by yourself, lying around at unusual places, etc. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night, wherever you are.